So I'm in my garage this time and I'm working on the Dodge Dakota because I got to get the blower fan fixed. Right now I have no heat at all, I have no defrost at all, which is bad because we're supposed to get another round of an ice storm tomorrow, freezing rain tomorrow morning. So right now it's rather warm, it's probably about 55 degrees, and tomorrow it's supposed to drop down to 30 and be getting colder and colder, so I got to make sure I get this fixed now because you can't be operating it without the defrost, especially your breath is going to fog everything up. It's just not a safe situation. So what happened with this is it's been burning out the resistors. Over the past year I think I've gone through 3 different resistors, and now this last time it got so hot that it melted the wiring harness that you plug the resistor into. It melted that out, part of that, the wires. I had it running for about 10 minutes the other day, sitting out here in the driveway, and it just I smelled the burning plastic. I knew I definitely had a problem. And the next day I had no fan at all. Typically what happens if the resistor burns out, you'll be able to operate it only on high. You won't have any other speeds of your fan, and what that resistor does is that allows you to control those different speeds. But this time, since my wire's burned out, it's not running at all. I have no fan at all. So what I decided to do after searching online in some forums for Dodge Dakotas and Durangos, people said that there's probably the fan itself, the fan motor, is probably drawing too many amps, and that's overheating the resistor and the wires and melting everything. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch out the motor, I'm going to switch out the harness that plugs into the resistor. I got a pigtail to fit that. I was able to go out to AutoZone, they had everything I needed, and I'm going to do that tonight because tomorrow, like I said, it's going to get cold, so it's time to get this taken care of. So I'm zoomed in here and I'm going to put some light on here and hopefully you can see this. These wires right here, this one, the coating's completely burned off. That's what we're dealing with. And as long as this one snaps in here, that's the main thing. This should connect. Yep, that connects to the resistor, that's good. Alright. So next thing I'm going to do is going to strip these back. I'm going to wire it in over here, and I'll try to get you a view down there of what I'm doing. So here's where I cut the old wires off right here. So I'm going to need to cut this back a little bit and strip the wires, and then I'm going to connect them with the connectors here. I'm going to make sure that I have them lined up in the right order. You can see probably here it's numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll make sure that I line these up with the corresponding ones here. Again, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this, and I'll make sure they match up, even though they're all one color for some reason. Okay, got the wires all stripped. Gonna start with wire number 5. So this one should be tan right here. And what's interesting about this is about 12 gauge wire here. All the wires for this new pigtail are all 12 gauge, whereas this is about 16 gauge wire here. And there's only 2 out of the 5 that are thicker gauge. So should be alright, but just interesting that they're different gauges. I'd rather have it oversized than undersized. So it's a little tight in here, so I'm going to finish doing this and I'll come back. Okay, so as you can see, I got the wiring done, and I'm gonna leave the excess and I'm just gonna tuck it up underneath there. So there's what it looks like. That's the fan motor right there, the fan blower motor right there. You're gonna need a ratchet set. Yeah, so they're 5/16. So you wanna make sure you have 5/16. And there's gonna be a total of 3, I think 3 of these. I'm gonna have to move the camera again because I'm gonna have to lay on my back to get up underneath there, but there's one here and one back there. I have to unplug the unit itself. The motor's plugged in right there in the back. So I'm gonna unplug that. I'm gonna pull this out, and we'll take the new one out of the box and see if it matches. Here's the new blower motor, and it looks like it has the right connections. Looks good. Looks pretty much identical to the one I took out, which I have over here. Here's what this one looked like. It's very close to looking like that. Here's the difference between the two. And seems like it has the 3 mounting points. Okay, should be good. I'm going to go put it in there and see what happens. Okay, everything's in place. I have the resistor with the harness plugged in. It goes up in here. It's really tight in there, so I wasn't able to get some video of that, but there are some good videos out there. I'll put some links in the description of how to change that resistor if you're having that problem. Now I have all this extra wire here, but what I'm going to do is I had loosened this. This is the floor vent. I had loosened this plastic floor vent to be able to have access to get to that resistor up there. So I'm just going to tuck it up underneath that and behind that. And then I'm going to put that back in place. So those will be hidden there. And then this attaches with a screw like that. So that'll be up and out of the way. And I'll attach that last screw up underneath the floor vent. Then we're going to fire the truck up and see if we have some fan speed. Okay, we're going to test it out, see what we got. It's working. Much better flow too. All right, awesome. There we go. Alright, well, I'd call that a success. It's working. I'm ready for the ice storm tomorrow. It was very tight down there to work. It was very uncomfortable. You got to take some breaks and give your back a rest. It's not the easiest to get to, but luckily it's not up underneath the dashboard. So it is a repair that you could do by yourself. You just make sure you have a socket set of a small ratchet to get in there. You might even need a flexible extension. That might help too for some of those screws. So I hope that helps you out. And thanks for sticking with me, and take care. I'll see you next time.